Hey everyone, we are in the heart of London in Green Park and we have the latest release from Panasonic. This is the Lumix S9. It's a fantastic, compact, full-frame camera that has a 24 megapixel sensor for stills, and it is capable of shooting 6K open gate video, and that's its real secret weapon. While we're by the flower beds in Hyde Park, I've been taking some stills, so it's a good time to go through the stills specification of this camera. It's a 24.2 megapixel full frame sensor, and that's on a Panasonic Lumix's L mount, so you can use the full range of L mount lenses. This body is available with the 20 to 60 millimeter lens zoom lenses kit. In terms of controls and the dials that you've got for the camera, you've got manual, shutter priority, aperture priority, program, everything that you'd be familiar with if you're picking up a Lumix camera that you've used before, but if you're new to it, that gives you all of the kind of creative control and direct control over your settings. They have, because it's such a compact body, you've got a limited control dial, so you've got a little thumb wheel on the back and a scroll dial on the front. If you're in manual mode, that'll give you your aperture and your shutter speed, and if you wanted to change your ISO, you'd have to press a button to access that. I'm a regular stills shooter and I'm very used to using a viewfinder on a camera. There is no viewfinder on this body at all, so everything is accessed via the rear screen, which you can have flat against the back of the camera, or you can have out the side and articulated should you want to shoot overhead or a low angle. Another thing to note, if you're a photographer that likes using flash, is that the shoe on the top here is a cold shoe, so there's no flash sync connection that I can find on this camera, so it's definitely a natural light workhorse. So that was our whistle-stop tour of the photography features of this camera, but as I mentioned at the start, this is also no slouch when it comes to video, and particularly in the world of content creation where you're needing to shoot lots of different frames, lots of different aspect ratios. So I'm going to hand over to Sean, our filmmaker, to talk you through that.
One of the main things that I find really exciting about the Lumix S9 is that you can record in open gate. Now, what's really clever about that is that instead of just recording in your standard 16:9, whereby it's cropping on the sensor a little bit, open gate means that it's using the entirety of that sensor, so you get more height to your composition. Now, what that means for video creators is that it gives you a lot more flexibility when it comes to repurposing content. So if you're filming something in open gate, you've got a lot more scope for cropping it to 16:9 for your YouTube platforms, but then also cropping it to vertical formats for your TikToks and your Instagram Reels. Of course, you still need to think about how you're going to compose your shots and all the things like that, but with that extra height to your frame, you've just got way more to play with. And just to add on there, if you are worried about losing resolution at all when you're performing these crops for various platforms, don't worry, because the open gate records in 6K. For those of you who know what Vlog is and want to make use of that, this camera does have it included upon purchase. For those of you who don't know what Vlog is and have no interest in what it is, you do also have standard picture profiles, so you're always guaranteed to have nice, colourful, contrasted images straight out of camera. For those of you who want to know what Vlog is, basically log profiles when shooting provide you with a very flat, very desaturated, decontrasted image, so that when you bring it into post-production, which is video editing, by the way, you can bring back that contrast, that saturation, all of those colours, but with a lot more control. Which brings us on to LUTs. LUT is an acronym which stands for lookup table, and essentially what a LUT does is that it is a preset package of a grade that you can apply over your Vlog footage to bring back all that contrast, that colour, more or less like an Instagram filter all over again. This camera has a dedicated LUT button whereby you can apply LUTs over the top of your footage, which is very handy for when you're shooting in log, because then you can actually see the contrast and the colors in the camera as you are filming. This camera that Panasonic has loaned to us has 3 preset LUTs in here already for us to play with, but there are actually 39 slots in total for you to bring in all of your customized LUTs or any LUTs you find online that you like to work with that you would like to use on the go. Which brings us on to the Lumix app where you can bring these LUTs in, called Lumix Lab.
I've got a copy of the app installed here, Lumix Lab, so let's have a go at pairing the phone to the camera. Panasonic have told us that it's a very easy process, so I've opened it up. First up is a gallery. I guess that's where you see your images when they're loaded in. And then camera pair the camera. Add new device. Please add the camera from Lumix Lab. Camera is available for pairing. Okay, now I've got the option for high-speed transfer, and that's where you jump over from Bluetooth to 5 gigahertz local Wi-Fi connection. That gives you a much faster, more powerful data connection between the camera and your phone. So transfer photo and video, now connecting to Wi-Fi on the camera. So this is, I mean, it's remarkably simple. There it is. Okay, we've got a connection and my images and video are starting to load in. This means that I can now select the images and video that I want to download to my device, and that means I can edit those and get them posted straight away should I want to. The ones that I can download we shot in the MP4 Lite. That's designed to be a reduced file size so that you can get file transfer to a mobile. So that was our first look at the Panasonic Lumix S9. I'm really impressed with it. I mean, it's such a small body for a full frame camera, let alone what it can do with video. It's really light and compact. Body only, without any batteries, memory cards, lens attached. It's just a touch over 400 grams, 403 grams for the body only. But Sean, you've been shooting with it more than me. Have a chat about how you found the shooting experience with this camera.
So the IBIS in this is really good. So for handheld shooters, this is exceptional, works really nicely. The compactness of it makes it very lightweight and easy to maneuver around. It also gives you a low footprint when out in public, so you're not giving off a big display when you're trying to get a few shots in.
I would encourage you to bear in mind that 4:3 ratio, that large ratio, gives you so much more compositional control. And think about the fact that Dune 2 released in 3 different aspect ratios in the cinema. It released in IMAX, which is a much taller ratio, digital IMAX, which is a little bit shorter, and then for the standard cinema release, it released in cinematic widescreen. So just, it's fantastic. If you are a content creator, you can shoot with one camera for something where you only get one take, and you can get your verticals out of it and you can get your footage for YouTube. But it doesn't mean it's only for that. If you're a filmmaker and if you're looking into that kind of creative zone, then being able to shoot open gate gives you the option to use that footage for something else later, and you might not know what that is when you're shooting it. So one thing that we haven't mentioned yet is the price. The S9 body only is $1,499. It is also available if it's the first Lumix camera that you're buying. You can get it with this kit lens, the 20 to 60mm, and that combination is $1,799. It's a great lens to get you started with. It's a really nice focal length range from wide to a kind of portrait standard angle. In terms of controls for video, I would say that one trick has been missed, and while you have a microphone input, there's no headphone out for monitoring your audio. So what we've been doing for audio is we've been using the Shure Move Mic kit. That's these little lavalier mics, and they give you the option that you can monitor your audio out from the receiver. The reason that they haven't fitted it, I'm certain, is that if you added another port, you'd be going into the hinge of this articulated screen. Articulated screen, incredibly useful. It's what people will be really needing. That brings our review to a close. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed having a look around Hyde Park with us. I've been Johnny from Wex. If you enjoy this channel, do like this video and subscribe. We've got a lot of different content that comes out. Thank you so much, Sean, for joining us.
No problem.
And we'll see you next time.